now you don't have like intro music or any of that stuff or, ads. Nobody likes ads, Like nobody likes to listen to that stuff before the podcast. They just want to get right into it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now. We're just getting right into it. We're addressing the questions for you. And I feel like this is a question that we're going to dive deep on because I get asked this question all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, let's just not only answer the question, but let's kind of go deeper. And so that question is, when is the right time to buy? Right? Like, I think we all have thought about that question, or especially as it deals with like real estate, people are like, when is the right time to buy? Like, is it when the interest rates come down? Is it like when there's more inventory on the market? Like, when is the right time to buy it? And I'm going to say, well, one, here's the answer that you probably all hear from other realtors, and it's like, when you're ready, willing, and able, right? Like, that's the big thing in real estate of like with buyers. It's like, well, if you're a seller, what are you looking for? You're looking for a ready, willing, and able buyer that's going to come to the house and buy your house. What does that mean? Well, it means that somebody's ready to move, they're willing to move, and they're able to move because they've been pre-approved and all their finances have been in order to allow them to kind of make that actually happen. But I feel like that gets kind of boring because like people hear that and they're like, okay, whatever, like I've heard some agents say like, oh, well, it depends. Like, it does depend. It depends on a lot of things. But I would maybe say that the answer might be another question. Like,
what would that question be?
I think that question would be, is there ever a bad time to own? Right? Like, I think the question should be answered with another question. Like, hey, when's the best time to buy? And I would say, is there ever a bad time to own? Like, is there ever a bad time to invest in a home and start building equity into that home? Like, if you're ready, willing, and able, like, I think obviously like that's the best time to go own a house. Because you want to start building that equity. I mean, just Omaha in general, like everything in Omaha in the past like 10 years, okay, on average, homes have appreciated like 3 to 5% per year without doing a dang thing to your house.
That's crazy.
Right? So like now we had some years where that spiked a little bit higher. We saw, man, I remember seeing sometimes where it was 13% like that year in appreciation of what we were seeing being sold in the neighborhood. That's when things were like crazy, chaotic.
So like COVID times?
Yeah, COVID times. You're getting, we all know this, we all saw it, like you're getting 20 offers on a house, right? Well, when you're getting 20 offers on a house, that purchase price is being increased quite a bit. We're not seeing that anymore, right? Like we're seeing maybe 3-4 offers, maybe 5 offers on a property now if it's like move-in ready and it's in a neighborhood that everybody wants to be in and all that kind of stuff. But, we're not seeing very many multiple offers in general now, Yeah. Now I will say if you guys have been following us, we're going to test Brit's knowledge over here. And what would you say is the window now for buyers? If you've been following us, what's the window that we're predicting that like would be the best time?
60 days.
Oh man, she's good. She's good. Yeah, I think 60 days is your window if you're a buyer before we start seeing a lot of these other things start come into play. Now, what do I mean by that? I think, as we've been talking, as you've been following us, I've been saying at the end of the year, rates are going to start dropping. We already know that. We've been following that. That's what they've been saying. Yeah. And that's what the Fed's been saying is like there's probably going to be another cut here in the next couple of days. if we haven't seen that already, and then another one in December, like right before the new year. And with everything going on too, like in the economy and things like that, everything's pointing to this. Now, if you saw my reel before this, like there was a picture of me where I had been pointing up and I was showing the interest rate as of today, which on a 30 was like 6.17.
Oh, really?
Okay, so like the change that's taken place is like even a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
we're at like 6.75, 6.5, kind of teeter-tottering in between there. And now we're all the way back down to like 6.17. So again, we're on trend.
Yeah.
That I think we're going to see the fives by the end of the year. And we'll stay on top of that and keep looking at that. But like, I think that prediction is right. I don't want to say I was right because it hasn't happened yet. But based off of everything that we've been following,
Yeah.
I think that so I just think people need to understand that, like, if you're a buyer or you're thinking about buying and wanting to get out there in this market, like, you have the leverage, I would say, for the next 60 days. And then after that, that leverage is going to start going away because I think inventory starts to come back down again. I think it starts moving into the seller's favor as we move into the spring and the summertime because the rates come down, the inventory comes down, stuff starts going off the market, and you get more buyers to the market. And then it starts getting crazy again, right?
Yeah.
So you won't have the leverage that you have now and for the next 60 days, in my opinion. But anyways, I feel like I got off on a tangent there because I feel like I want to move back into kind of this like appreciation, right? So 3 to 5% per year. We had that escalation there like through COVID years or whatever. That was an anomaly that needs to be taken out. So what does that mean, right? Like, what does that mean when, you know, there's a lot of people that hear that 3 to 5% appreciation. They're like, okay, that's great, but I don't know what that actually means. So I want to put that in perspective for you, okay? What that means is on a $200,000 house, I'm just throwing this out there. If you bought a house for $200,000 7 years ago, the average person lives in a house like 7 to 9 years. So that's why I'm using this number. Some move faster, some move longer, but the average has been like 7 to 9 years, somewhere in there. So if you bought a $200,000 house 7 years ago, on a 3 to 5% appreciation, that house is now worth $270,000 to $290,000, so somewhere in there, without doing a dang thing to it.
That's crazy.
Now, if you did updates to that house, you upgraded countertops, backsplash, bathrooms, maybe some flooring, and you did some of that stuff, like that's obviously going to play into maybe the higher side of this number.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you think about that, I mean, you buy a house for $200,000, 7 years later, you now have $70,000 to $100,000
Jeez.
back in your pocket.
Yeah.
And during that time, you've paid down your loan, right? So now you're coming down on that loan. That loan's probably like $180,000, somewhere in there, maybe more, depending on, you know, if you made extra payments and different things like that. But that would be more equity that would then be in your pocket when you go to sell. So what do I mean by equity? So I'm going to share a story. I haven't even let you talk yet for a little bit, but she's just listening.
I am just observing. I'm learning as well.
So story, I'll never forget this story. Like, I helped a young couple buy this house, and at that time, like, they had scraped every penny that they possibly could to like get into this house. And it wasn't like, it was in Benson, you know, so like a rougher part of Benson. I don't remember the exact numbers but I do remember like when we bought, it was like, okay, like it's a little rough part, but like we're getting into this house, you know, and they started to have a family. And I remember like 5 years later, like they called me and they're like, hey, I think we're ready to, our family's expanding. Like, we got to get out of this house. There's not enough room. It's time to sell. And so I go over there, I run comps, you know, like we take a look at everything. And I remember like sitting there in their living room and she just starts crying. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And she was like, are you telling me that, like, if we sell for what you're predicting this house is going to sell for, that, like, we would get X amount of dollars back from, like, the equity? And I was like, yeah, like, you guys have owned it for 5 years. You know, this is what I think we can get back when we list it. You know, it's not guaranteed until we sell, but, like, this is what we're predicting, right? And she's like, what am I supposed to do with that money? And I was like, you can do whatever you want with that money. Like, you can go start a business.
Yeah.
You know, you can take that and roll that over to the new house towards your down payment and all that stuff to bring your you know, like, purchase price down and all that other stuff down, like, on the loan. So, like, it's totally up to you what you want to do with that money. And she was like, I've been, like, wanting to start my own business. And, like, this was, like, she didn't know, like, she's like, I just didn't know that, like, I would have this kind of money. Like, and so the greatest thing is, like, we ended up selling for more than what we had, like, predicted, because we got in a multiple offer situation. And, so they got more money out of that. But, like, that was, like, a success story for me to, like, be able to see, like, all of that kind of unfold, where it was like, it didn't take long. Like, it was 5 years, right? Like, they had scraped up everything they had to get into this house. And then, like, 5 years later, they get all this money back from, like, selling their house, and now, like, can go start a business.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, sitting in that living room, and I'm like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's fun about my job, is getting to see people see what's the word I'm looking for? Like, their investment, like the reward in their investment, and be like, oh my gosh, like, we invested in this and we scraped everything we had and now we're getting rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Without having to do anything. Like, I think they painted, like, the inside of the house, and that was it. Like, they didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't have the money to do it.
Yeah. And so that house wasn't, like, their dream home. Like, it wasn't in a good area, and that's what I think a lot of people need to, like, get past. Is it, like, your first home?
Yeah.
If you're planning on selling in that 5 to 7 year range or less, if, you know, kids come sooner, like, your house I don't think any house is ever going to be, like, perfect, you know? Unless you custom build it. But even then, that's when people are like, I should have done this, or I should have done that. Like getting past the idea of the perfect home.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, there is no such thing as a perfect house.
Yeah.
There isn't. Like, you can, like, I've done this. You can build your house and think that, like, everything is perfect to the way you like it. And the moment you move in, there's something you forgot. Yeah. You're like, oh, or you walk through somebody else's house and you're like,
I want that.
Oh, I wish I would have done that. Right? Like, because people are creative, and, you know, obviously, like, technology and other things, like, help. And so, like, there's times where I think you know what you want, and then you don't. And that's, like, the beauty of, like, owning homes too, I think, is, like, what you were saying is, you might not get the house of your dreams yet, right? But, like, as you live in these houses, working towards the house of your dreams, like, you start creating this list in your head of, like, the first house you get, you're like, we don't have a garage. So you're like, my next house is going to have a garage. Yeah. Like, small things like that, right? Like, you know, and you start building this list to eventually, it may not be until, like, your fourth or fifth house that you're in where you're like, you get everything that you had created on that list. Yeah. Right? But, like, again, like you were saying, your first house might not be everything that you want. Yeah. You might not be able to afford everything that you want. Like, and I feel like that's the challenge, I think, sometimes with buyers, is buyers only have a certain amount of money that they can spend to go get this house, right? They get pre-approved for a certain amount. Yeah. And then they decide, okay, what's the amount that we're comfortable spending every month? This is the price range that we have to stay in. A little shout out to, like, my lender and the lenders that we use. I feel like they do a really good job of saying, hey, here's what you're approved for, but here's the price point that you need to stay in because this is where you're comfortable spending monthly.
Yeah.
So, like, in most cases, a lot of people get pre-approved for way more than what they want to spend. So I would say that for you, if you're thinking about buying, just to know that, like, hey, don't overextend yourself. Like, the worst thing that I would want for a buyer is to, like, get into a house and feel strapped, and now they can't, like, go on vacation or go out with friends or go out to eat.
Yeah.
Because, like, now they're stretched with that mortgage payment.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have them be more in the middle there and be able to host people and have parties and go out and go travel and go do other things. Because, like, literally it's just a house. Like, you're not in your house majority of your life, right? Like, I don't know. I would like to know what that statistic is. It's funny that I don't, but, like, it'd be interesting to see, like, how often are you actually at home?
Oh, and that would I feel like it's so low. I'm never at my apartment.
Like,
it's like I sleep there.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, you sleep there, you eat there, but then it's like you're running around in a whole bunch of other places throughout the day that, like,
yeah.
Unless you work from home, you know.
Yeah, but, that's true.
So anyways, I just think that there are some things that people just don't know when they're buying.
Yeah.
And, like, getting pre-approved and all that kind of stuff. Like, okay, where do we want to kind of budget and stay in?
Yeah.
Like, in land. And then also, like you were saying, getting into a home that might not be the dream home right away.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's the end goal? The end goal is in 10 years, 12 years to be in that dream home if you're a young couple. And I think if you're obviously, like, even an older couple, like, my parents didn't buy their first house until, like, I'd graduated college, which is weird. Like, they just rented a house the entire time. And then they finally bought, and then they got equity when they sold it. But, like, I just think, like, again, it kind of depends, but it's also like, here's these other things that you need to know about when you're thinking about when is the right time to buy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But,
so with the ready, willing, and able buyer, what exactly does that mean? What are the requirements to be ready, willing, and able?
Yeah.
I feel like people could be ready, but they're not willing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a challenge right now, like, in this market. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I think there's a lot of agents that are getting run around for free for, like, months on end.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is, like, yes, that's a part of our job, but we don't get paid until the end, right? Like, we don't get paid until, like, a couple days after closing, right? So, like, yeah, it's our job to, like, run around, show houses, meet people, but, like, when you're doing that for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, like, and you're looking at 40, 50 houses, like, from an agent's perspective, it's like, okay, are these guys ever going to buy?
Yeah.
Like, are they might be ready, you know? I would say, like, I would kind of go the reverse of that. I'd say, like, hey, they're able to buy right now, but are they really ready and willing to, like, pull the trigger? Yeah. And I would say that those people aren't. Like, I would say that's great, you're able to buy, but, like, how motivated are you to, like, buy right now? Like, are we just going to browse and look at houses, or are we like, actually willing to put an offer in if we find something that we like?
Yeah.
And I would say, like, I would challenge the audience, if you are one of those buyers, like, to be considerate of, like, people's time.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Because it's like you're wasting not just the agent's time, but, like, you're wasting the seller's time, because the seller wants to get their house sold. And so, like, a seller gets excited when they see that, oh, there's a showing request, you know? And behind the scenes of that is the seller's spending usually 1 to 2 hours, like, cleaning, prepping, getting that house ready for that showing, right? In anticipation that, like, somebody's going to come bring them an offer. And if you're just someone that's like, oh, you know, we're just going to browse, and I don't know, like, we might like, if that's the attitude, it's like, don't waste everybody's time.
Yeah.
Like, because that's where I feel like, not from just the agent standpoint, but from like that seller standpoint of like, I know the sweat that has gone into like getting that home ready to show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, we're not that serious. Well, if you're not that serious, then don't waste everybody's time and go tour houses.
Go look
just
on Zillow.
lay in bed and look at photos. Like, and that, I mean, that might sound harsh and that might sound rude. But like, I think that's difficult. Like, from my perspective, like, I've got 4 kids and a wife that works a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's like, my time with my family is important. And yeah, it's a part of my job. And like, I have no problem getting up and leaving and going and showing houses. Like, if you're willing, if you're going to be willing to put in an offer, if we find something that you like. But if you're like, hey, I want to go browse 50 to 60 houses, like, I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time getting up and leaving and scheduling appointments and like filling out feedback forms and everything for all the other listing agents.
Yeah.
And then not having like real feedback to give them other than like, it just wasn't the right one for my buyers.
Yeah.
Like, that's code for like, your buyers aren't serious.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't give me a reason why like they didn't like the house, or like they're not willing to write an offer, then they're not serious.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
So I think buyers need to know that, you know, like, it's no different than like, you don't go into a doctor's office and like go meet with a doctor unless something's wrong. Right? Like, nobody goes into a doctor's office and is like, okay, so why'd you come in today? You know, I just wanted to see if anything's going on with my body. And like, the doctor would be like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what are you doing? Like, I've got 40 other people to see. Like, so like, you know, you don't walk in anywhere to go do that, right? Like, you don't. And so I guess what I'm saying is like, don't do the same thing to like a realtor. Like, my biggest pet peeve, and again, I don't know, maybe I need to change my perspective on this, but like, open houses, right? Like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, and I tell my sellers this all the time, I'm like, there's a very small percentage that an open house is going to sell your house. Yeah. Why is that?
People are just coming to browse. They're like, oh, this is, when I've had them the last 2 weeks, like, oh, this is just fun. Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah. Like, and the amount of time that goes into an open house too, right? Like, the preparation and getting and doing an open house. Like, what's the purpose from an agent's perspective of doing an open house? This might surprise some people, but like, my sellers ask me all the time, they're like, you know, do you do open houses? And I'm like, we can, but in most cases, like, the reason why someone's doing an open house is to try to get more buyers and more business and clientele. That's the reason why they're doing an open house. It's not to sell your house. I mean, the goal is obviously to like get somebody through there to come write an offer on your house. The chances of that happening though are very slim. And people are like, well, why would you say that? Like, I know somebody that had somebody walk in and they wrote an offer, and I'm like, yes and no. Like, in a world full of technology, right? Like, what is our first showing? Our first showing is your house being shown online. It's being shown on all the platforms like Zillow, Homes.com, Realtor.com, Redfin, like all the websites. Like, that's your first showing. So that's why it's important to have a professional photographer to showcase your house and show it off, because that's what the first thing is that people are going to look at. Is they're going to sit in bed, like I said. They're going to be laying in bed. I've heard this from numerous people that like my wife or my husband will sit in bed at night and they'll literally like just look on one of those platforms and just start scrolling through houses. That's your first showing. Okay? Your first showing isn't the open house. Your first showing isn't the person that schedules a showing to come to your house, because they're coming to your house because they saw pictures or video of your house and now they're coming for their showing. So that I would say is a second showing.
Yeah.
Your second showing is when people actually schedule a showing and walk through your house and tour it.
Yeah.
Because they've already seen the first showing.
Yeah.
They look pretty good. And so they're like, okay, let's go check out this house. So I would say that that's like your second showing there. I don't even remember the question that we were addressing.
That was like what makes a buyer ready, willing,
yeah.
able.
So, I mean, I would say that like there's those illustrations are people that I think are able,
but they're not ready and willing.
But they're not ready and willing to move forward. So like I would say most people that come through an open house, based off of my 13 years of experience, most people that come through the open house, here's the answers that I get when I'm interacting with them. One, I'm lucky nowadays to like get any conversation with them because nobody wants to talk to you, which is kind of weird when you're coming to an open house. But when we do get into a conversation, it's like, oh, we're just browsing.
Yeah.
Like you're at the grocery store just taking a cart down an aisle and like looking at
all this stuff, but
all
not
these
buying anything.
Different things and not buying anything.
That's a really good analogy.
Like I know people that literally like go to Costco and
just for fun.
Their spouses are like, it is like to get an hour or 2 hours away for their spouse to like just go to a Costco, like is something they look forward to. And they like literally just go up and down the aisles and like look at all the new things that have like that's how I envision like a lot of buyers that are coming through open houses is like, I mean, I even get agents that like will text me afterwards and be like, on our own personal house, I had an agent be like, hey, are you willing to sell like the decorations that you guys have up? Like you did a really good job. And I'm like, really? Like that's the feedback that I'm getting right now is like,
seriously?
You are interested in buying our
furniture
and stuff. Like,
week?
No, that was like a couple months ago. But I was just like, I mean, yeah, we'd be willing to sell that later when we like sell our house. But like, hey, what did your clients think of the house? Oh, they're not interested. Okay. Like, I don't know. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
what do you feel like? So if they're able, but they're not ready and willing, what do buyers need to hear right now to get that motivation? Is it the interest rates? Is it?
Well, I think that depends. Like, I think that's the question that you need to ask those able buyers is like, what's it going to take for you to get off the ledge and actually be willing to write an offer? Right? Because like, if we're just spinning our wheels and we're just like, we're going to tour houses just to like get decorating ideas or like we're not really ready to pull the trigger, but we just wanted to get out, like, then don't call an agent. Go through the open houses yourselves, you know, and don't waste anyone's time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the worst feedback that I can't stand from open houses is like, hey, what was our traffic like? Oh, traffic was great. We had like 8 couples through. Okay, like, well, what did those 8 couples say? Well, 6 of them were like there to just browse and just look, and they're not really ready to buy. The other 2 said maybe, you know, and they'll reach out if, like, that's the other thing. It's like, oh, we'll reach out if we're interested. That's code for we're not willing or ready to like pull the trigger, right? And so like, I think it's understanding what people are saying and interpreting that the correct way, or asking the right questions, like when you're at that open house, to really find out like how serious are these buyers, right? So like my question when I like meet with buyers, or like when buyers reach out, like I like to know the motivation behind why they want to go look at houses. So I'm like, what's motivating you guys to start the search process? Oh, well, our house is too small. We're pregnant. We're having another kid. I'm like, okay, so you're motivated because you're having a baby and you want to get into this house before the baby's born, or, you know, like as your family expands, you know. So I know that couple is motivated to try to go find something because they have this little thing over here that's like, hey, time is of the essence. Like we gotta, Like I'll be in situations where it's like my wife and I are splitting up and we're going through separation, and it's like, okay, like you need to find a house, right? Like there's certain things that like point towards, okay, this person's ready and they're willing because they have these other things that are happening. I think it's very easy for me to pinpoint and read through people where it's like, yeah, these people aren't serious. Like, I am not going to go waste my time running them around and showing them 50 houses and then have them be like, oh, at the very end. Because I did this early on in my career. Like, you're taking everything that can come to you because you're trying to provide for your family and, like, get ahead and build a business. And now, like, I want to work with a ready and willing buyer because I don't want to waste anyone's time going through those houses, and I want to help them meet their goals, right? So, like, we're having conversations about, like, well, what are your goals? Like, what are you trying to do with the new purchase? What's your plan? How long do you plan on living there? Like, we're having those types of discussions. So it's helping pinpoint, like, where we need to go and what we need to be looking for. Right. I think, like, the challenge, like right now in this market, it's like what we're seeing, and I think the biggest challenge is there's a lot of these people that are ready and willing, because they're trying to get out of this house and move into the new house. But what that brings to the table is like, now we have a contingent offer because they need to sell their house and they want to buy this house. So a lot of our listings right now, like, have these contingent offers where it's like, okay, now we're waiting on that house to sell before we can move forward with this other house. And it's challenging, but it's like, it is what it is. That's the market that we're in. I think my prediction, again, in 60 days, you're going to see a lot less housing contingencies that are getting accepted, because you're going to get the people that are going to see the rates fall under 6 and be like, now's the time to go, and we don't have to sell our house, or we don't have a house, but we've been saving money. Right. And now we don't have to have a contingency to sell with our offer. And so that's going to make our offer stand out. So you might get 3 or 4 offers, but 2 of them have homes that need to sell. Yeah. And the other 2 don't, and it's like, well, we're tossing those 2 to the side
because you just want to get it.
We just want to get it under contract and not have to worry about their house selling. Yeah. Right. So, like, that's going to be the shift and the change that's going to happen. So again, why I keep preaching this, like, 60 days, like, buyers, you have the option of doing that right now because that's the current market. Like, you have the option of being like, okay, we need to sell our house. Well, like, you can probably go get something under contract with a contingency to sell your house because there's inventory out there and there's a lot of it. Yeah. 60 days from now, and when those rates go below 6, like, don't expect that to happen anymore. A seller's not going to accept a contingency to sell, even if you come in at or above asking price, because, like, I've got this other one over here at asking and at list price that doesn't have a contingency. Like, I'm going with that one because now I know when we're going to close, and I don't have to worry about another house being sold before we close on our house. Yeah. So, like, buyers need to know that, like, especially those that are out in this market, like, they need to know, okay, like, if that's us, we better jump in. And if it's not us, and you don't have a contingency, then props to you, because even if you're in this market right now and you don't have a contingency, it's like, jump in. Yeah. Like, you can go win a ton of these houses because you don't have a home contingency. Like, but in 5 months from now, you might be competing with 3 other people that don't have home contingencies, and now you don't have anything to separate yourself from. Yeah. So it's just
crazy to think about that.
It is. But, like, you got to think about these things. Like, if you're a buyer, like, you have to think about, like, where, timing might not be the best time to buy right now. In the sense that, like, if there's families, they're like, well, our kids are going to the school and we wanted to wait till the end of the school year. Well, you wait till the end of the school year, it might be you might be writing up 5, 6, 7 times before you get a house that you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Right before summer.
Yeah.
Too.
So
So I feel like another thing with buyers, more so like first time home buyers, or just like if you have a home sale contingency, like everything's kind of tight in that area, or they have to get that home like sold because they got to carry in that into the next house. Like, but what is like the average or like okay amount to put down? Because I feel like that's something that people think about so much. It's like, well, I get this house and then like right away I have to pay $80,000 in closing costs, sort of thing.
Man, that's a good question. So there's not a right answer to this. I will say this. I think back in our parents' day, you know, if you ask our parents and people that are out there that don't know anything about the lending side of things and loans, they're always going to be like, oh, make sure you save up and put 20% down. Well, 20% down 20, 30, 40 years ago was doable. Mm-hmm. Like, because you're buying a $40,000, $50,000 house.
Yeah.
Well, now in Omaha, at least, the first time home buyer house is anywhere from, I would say, $285 to like $315 to get into that house. Yeah. Right? So putting 20% down is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like,
that is a lot of money.
I mean, and statistics show us this. Like, you know, what person graduates college, gets married, starts having kids. So now we're in like our mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s. What person has $80,000 to put down on a house? Like, yeah,
that's crazy.
Not a lot, unless you're coming from a family that has some money that they can gift you some of that money to help go towards that. But it's a lot of money. And what's the reason for that? Like, the reason that this whole 20% thing came into existence was like, oh, well, you don't have to pay PMI, which is principal mortgage insurance. You know, like, you're not going to have to pay that on top of your loan. And so that's why you did it back then. Well, nowadays, that can be anywhere from like $90 to $150 typically. Okay. I mean, depending on what your credit score and things are, like, but it's not like thousands of dollars, right? Like, your lender is going to be able to tell you ballpark what that's going to look like where you're sitting from a financial perspective. But like, at the end of the day, it's like, if you can't afford that, then you probably shouldn't be buying a house.
Right.
In my opinion. So like, if you see what I've been talking about, like, okay, if there's appreciation of 3 to 5% every year, in most cases, you can go refinance later on down the road, or you can go and just have an appraiser come out and appraise your property. And if it meets that 80% threshold with the loan, 80 to 20 or whatever, based off of what your home is worth, you can get PMI dropped. So long story short, in most cases, are people that go less than 20% down, right? They do 3.5%, 5%, 10%. Those people are getting PMI pretty much wiped out within like 3 or 4 years of buying the house because of the appreciation that's taking place. Yeah. And their home value is now 80 to 20. And so, like, I think people think that like they're locked into that for 15, 20, 30 years. And it's like, no, it just has to get down to that 80% threshold that the lender wants to see. And then they'll take that off, you know, and they go through that. Like, when you go to close, it's not going to automatically come off. This is something that buyers need to know is when you go to close, the lender will tell you like, hey, here's your PMI. This will come off at year whatever it is, because that's where we're predicting, you know, like that will be 78%. So they don't even say 80%. Yeah. They want you to keep paying that, but it's 80%, but it won't automatically fall off until your loan amount gets to like 78% or whatever that is. Okay. And so that's where I tell people, I'm like, you guys need to know this. This is part of my job where I like stay in contact with you and say, hey, here's what your home is worth each year, you know, and you're getting to see that home value go up. But then you're also thinking to yourself like, hey, guys, we bought 2-3 years ago. Now might be a time where we can get an appraisal done and get that PMI wiped out because I think you guys are there at the value that you need to be at. And so a lot of people are like, oh, geez, thanks for the reminder. We didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You know, but
seriously.
like that's things to think about as it relates to that. So I would say like what buyers need to know is you can go as little as 3.5%, 5% down on a house, which looks a heck of a lot better than 20% or more, right?
Yeah.
So like, and it's not going to hurt you, in my opinion, very long because of that being wiped out 3-4 years from now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it'll save you a ton of money. I would rather have you, if you've got 20% down, I would rather have you put like 5 to 10% down on your house, save that other 10%, put it in a savings account or whatever, because like you're gonna have stuff that breaks down your house.
Yeah.
It's just part of owning a house. Your HVAC goes out, your disposal goes out, your dishwasher goes out, you know, like your refrigerator goes out. Like those things are going to happen. And I would much rather have you have the money to do that than go put it on a credit card because you don't have the money because you just threw it all down on the house.
Yeah.
Right. Like I would rather have you have money saved up where you can just go pay cash and replace those things.
Yeah.
So
that would make more sense in my opinion as well. So you have your percent down, and then how much do people need for closing costs then?
Good question. Yeah, so closing costs are separate from what you're putting down. So in the scenario that we just said, like, let's say you put 5% down on the house that you're buying. So $100,000 house, which you're not going to buy, but like just to make numbers easy, right?
Yeah.
Like $5,000. So if you go 200,000, that's 10,000. You know, 300,000, whatever that is. Now I'm losing math. 15,000.
Yeah, whatever.
Is that right?
I don't know.
That doesn't even sound right. Hold on.
I think if you're putting 10% down and it's like
I'm going
$200,000.
I mean,
house.
Yeah, 15,000. Okay, I don't know why my mind was doing that to me. It's weird.
You're good.
I don't.
I don't know.
So
numbers.
Your 15,000 on a $300,000 house, right, is going to be your down payment at 5%.
1,500.
Huh?
Did you say
15,000?
Okay.
So 15,000 you've got to bring to the table to close on that house for your down payment, right?
Right.
Then you have closing costs. So these are like all the fees that are involved with like the title company, the lending side of things, realtor fees, different things that are in there. I tell people typically it's about 3.5% of the purchase price. So in this case, if you're at 3.5% on purchase price of a $300,000 house, your closing costs are about $10,500.
Oh.
So
it's not
you
as
would
bad as I was expecting.
You would add that though to
your down payment.
Your 15,000 that we just talked about, right? And now you're at 25,500, which is still
you just have to have like upfront, right?
Yeah. So that's literally like the check and some change that you're bringing to the table when you close. Okay. So like people need to understand that too is, okay, yeah, you get pre-approved and it's like, hey, I'm pre-approved for a $300,000 house. I go right up on that house, but like you're going to want to have 25 to 30 grand sitting there in an account.
Yeah.
Or have access to that because that's what it's going to take to get you to close on that house.
Right.
You know, so I think some people get confused about that sometimes as far as like, oh, my closing cost is 10,000. Well, yeah, that's your closing cost, but then you have your down payment as well, right? Yeah. So like you got to add that to what your closing costs are going to be. So like buyers ask me all the time, they're like, well, you know, like who's paying for closing costs? I'm like, well, buyer and seller both have closing costs. So if you want closing costs paid for, you want a portion of like that 10,000 paid for, you want to ask for that in the offer for the seller to pay some of those closing costs for you so that you're bringing to the table less money.
That would be nice. Is that more common than not that sellers would agree to that? Or
I mean, right now in this market it is.
Because they want to get their house sold.
Because they want to get their house sold and it's been sitting. But 60 days from now, probably going away.
Probably not.
So again, like people think I'm trying to persuade buyers. I'm just telling you buyers, like, I don't know why you're not taking advantage of this market right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously.
there is stuff sitting and there's stuff out there that, like, if you can get enough money put together to go buy a house, like, now is the time to do it.
Right.
And I'm telling you, like, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you're not going to regret it.
Right.
You're going to be like, man, it took a lot for me to get that money together, but, like, I got it, and now I'm moving forward with it, and, like, you're going to get that equity back, and you're going to see that. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So, I don't know. That's what I got there.
That's good. What would you say to our renters out there? Because we do have, like, the people who, okay, they have their home that they need to sell, and then we have people who live with their parents, because we're at, like, the highest number of 26 to 35-year-olds who live with their parents, which is crazy. But then we also have renters, like me. I rent an apartment. So what would your advice be to them?
Well, my advice to you is, why are you paying your landlord and not yourself? Like,
seriously.
and honestly, like, it's a tough question to answer, and it's not like a question that's like to make you feel bad by any means. Like, because
it gets you thinking.
There's people right now that just don't have enough money to put down.
Yeah.
For a house, right? And so, like, I would say this. I would say, like, one is, what are you waiting for? Like, do you have a plan as you're sitting there? Like, what's your plan? You know, did you sign a 1-year lease? Okay, like, if you signed a 1-year lease, like, my advice would be, I would do everything that I possibly can to try to have enough money saved up by the end of that year to be able to walk away from renting and purchasing a home.
Yeah.
Some people can't do that.
Yeah, because I think about, if I didn't rent an apartment this last year, that's, almost $2,000 a month times 12 is $24,000.
$24,000
that could have went towards a closing cost that you just said one was what?
Yeah, $300,000 house,
which was $10,000.
Like, that's a great example. Like,
right.
So
that's crazy.
That's $24,000 that you threw away.
Yeah, literally, I did.
Right?
Yes.
That went to pad the pockets of whoever owns the apartments, right? And they're getting richer off of you, and you're not building any equity in your house, right?
Yeah,
so, like, if you, like, my example for all that stuff is, like, I mean, if you want to light $100 bill on fire, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's.
You got $100 bill and you just lit it on fire, and it's gone. Like,
I don't love
it's
that.
not doing. So, like you said, like, okay, what are my other options though, right? Like, well, another option would be, like you said, I go live with my parents for a year. I act like I'm still paying my rent.
Yeah, and you save.
And I'm putting that in a savings account. And by the end of that year, I now have $24,000. I can go get a pretty nice house in Omaha.
Yeah.
With $24,000 to put down.
Yeah.
Might not be like the house of my dreams, but I'll tell you one thing. You're going to have something that you own. You're going to build equity.
Yeah.
And you're not throwing away money anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not giving somebody else money, and you're actually setting yourself up for 5, 6, 7 years down the road to be like, now I'm taking the $24,000 that I scraped to put together, and that $24,000 is now turning into $75,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000.
That's crazy. And like you said, that's if you don't even do anything, right?
You're not, yeah, and like, I don't know. I mean, you can ask your boyfriend about this, but I don't know if there's anything in the stock market or anything out there that you could put $24,000 into and see a return of $75,000, $100,000 in 5 years.
Probably not.
I mean,
I don't know.
You'd have to get pretty dang lucky, I think, and risky with some stock to, like, see that happen. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, like, that's probably not doable.
Yeah.
So, like,
that's crazy.
when you think about it that way, it's like, okay, where am I investing my money? Where am I spending my money?
Right.
I think an issue that we have today is we don't know how to budget our money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, we don't know how to, like, live like no one else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dave Ramsey says that all the time. Like, Dave Ramsey talks about, live today like no one, so you can live today like no one else, so you can live tomorrow like no one else, or somewhere along those lines.
Like,
I
is that
screwed
meaning,
that up.
like,
But
is that like, wait, I'm gonna, like, live like no one else, so, like, just, like, live to be yourself? Like, is that what it is?
No, so he's basically saying, like, hey, go against the grain of what everybody else is doing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, everyone else is living paycheck to paycheck, scraping by, going into debt, you know, doing all these things. So live like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow is basically like his motto, and saying that, like, hey, if you can budget like literally everything, like you're budgeting groceries, you're budgeting gas, you're budgeting car payments if you have them, you know, like your rent, all that stuff, and you're saying, okay, at the end of the month, after all those things are paid, I have $600 left over, or whatever that is.
Right.
You know, it's like, what am I doing with that $600? Most people will go spend that somehow, some way. Oh, I'm going to get my nails done. Oh, I'm going out with friends. Oh, I'm going to go to this game and pay $230 for these tickets. You know, I'm going to go to this concert. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's what everybody's doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, everybody's doing and living that lifestyle, when technically can they afford it? Maybe, but probably not.
Yeah.
Like, because if something goes wrong, what if you get in a car accident and you have medical bills?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you pay those?
Yeah.
You know, like, so
That's crazy.
the point of all that is like, if I'm budgeting and I have a plan as I move forward, like, what am I going to do with that money and that plan? You know, like, if I don't have a plan, you're probably not buying a house in a year, right? If you're, you know, like, I have this conversation all the time with people. It's like, how long have you been renting? Oh, I've been renting, like, for 12 years. Like, 12 years? Like, imagine taking that 24,000 times 12.
Yeah.
I mean, your house would be paid off.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Literally. That's
Right?
so crazy.
But, like, I just don't think people think and plan accordingly or ahead. And then they find themselves in these situations where it's like, well, I'm never going to be able to buy a house. Yeah, you're never going to be able to buy a house because, like, you're living a lifestyle you can't afford.
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice somewhere to get ahead.
Right.
And, like, and that might be the first house that you buy. It's not your dream. Like, I tell people this all the time. I'm like, Vanessa and I bought, I think, 4 houses before we, like, built our house. And even building our house, like, we built that and we were like, we thought it was our dream home.
Yeah.
And then we get it built and we're like, oh, we should have done this. We should have done that.
Yeah.
And then you live there for a while, and then, you know, we lived there 7 years, and now we moved to a different place.
Yeah.
Because life changes. Like, I think that's another thing to, like, think about is, like, styles change. Like, life happens and things change, right? Like,
Right.
you might buy a house and be single. 3 years later, you might be getting married.
Yeah.
Well, if both of you own a house, you're not going to live separately.
Yeah.
You're going to sell one of those, right? Like,
Right.
you're going to take that money and maybe you sell both and you go buy another house together, like, that you can call your own together and build a family, right? Like,
Right.
but then you might live there and be like, okay, wow, now we have twins, or now we have, you know, whatever. Life happens, right? And you have to make that adjustment and that change. And I think what I've learned looking back at all the properties that we've invested in, like, and lived in, it's like every single time that we move, something changed.
Yeah.
Like, the first house we get, we're like, this is awesome. We have Natalie. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, unfinished basement. Then we have Luke. And then we're pregnant with Drew, and we're like, oh, gosh, we got to move. You know, like, all these things, like, start happening, right? Because you're running out of okay, we're going to go do this house. We flip this house. We go do this house. Like, And then you build your house, right? For like you and your family. It's big enough for everyone. And, you know, then like recently we're like, you know, like this is just too big. Like we don't need this space.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and something happened or changed like with us where we were like, you know, all of this stuff that we thought we wanted, we really don't care about anymore. You know, what's more important to us now? Well, we'd rather be in a neighborhood where our kids and their friends like are in that neighborhood, and our church family is in that neighborhood, and like we're closer to where all of our kids' activities are at, you know, like that changed. Like those things, location changed for us, you know.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't about having the nice new brand new shiny object that's a new construction home. It was like I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I moved into a house that like somebody could go in there and spend $200,000 and update that house. I don't care. I don't plan to do that. Like I'm in my house, I'm going to let my kids beat it up. But what I do care about that house is like every time I'm driving back into that neighborhood, I'm like, it is so quiet back here.
Yeah.
Like I can go on my back deck and like I don't have to listen to a thing, and I can just open up a book and read or do whatever. Like that's what's important to me right now.
Yeah.
It changed. That wasn't important to me like 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
Like, so what I'm saying is I think we tend to look at like things being in the moment a lot, where it's like, man, you need to look down the road. This might not be your dream home, and that's okay. Like it doesn't have to be. And trust me, things are going to change 3, 4, 5 years down the road that are going to persuade you to move from this place and go to a different place. Like that's why the average person is 7 to 9 years in their house. Yeah. Like if everybody loved the house that they were in forever, they would live out. Like it boggles my mind to think about like why banks do 30-year mortgages.
Right.
Like because you're like,
ever in there.
I wonder how many, like what's the statistic that like somebody actually lives in that house to pay off that mortgage?
Yeah.
It's got to be small.
Really low. Yeah.
I think our parents' generation and like our grandparents' generation for sure, I think they would be trending towards a higher percentage there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think a lot of our grandparents were like, man, this is the house that like our parents grew up in and they're still living there.
Yeah.
That's not the case in today's world. Like people move all the time.
Yeah.
People build houses and like 3 or 4 years later go build another house, which boggles my mind.
That's insane.
That's insane. Like, because new construction, you don't get the return that you typically do in like pre-existing, which is another thing to think about. Like,
why is that?
So it's just, well, I think because everything's brand new, right? So everything's brand new. The chances of you making updates and things in it
is low.
You know, you already paid top dollar for materials and labor and all that other kind of stuff. So the return on that is going to take a while to get back, you know? And so like, I think people need to understand that too, is like, yeah, okay, you go new construction, but you got to remember that like new construction is probably happening all around you in that neighborhood then. And then your home values may or may not go up as quickly as they would have if they were in a neighborhood where there was pre-existing and stuff is continuing to get updated and those home prices are fluctuating every now and then, you know, like, so yeah, I just think that like, it just kind of depends on what your situation is. But, you know, even to go back and try to cap is so funny. Like my kids say, that's cap, Dad, which means
that's a lie.
That's a lie.
I'm surprised that you know that. They're also language. Young. Why do they know that?
Dude, that's cap, Dad. I'm like, whatever. You know, just to like, we would talk about like, just to cap things off, you know, like
just to top it off.
Just to top it off.
Just to put a lid on it.
So this ain't no lie. It's when is the right time to buy? And I think, you know, you have to answer that question with, is there ever a bad time to own? And I think the answer to that is no. Like based off of our conversation today is no, like there's never a bad time to own, because in most cases you're going to get your money back from that.
Right.
But then I also think you have to answer that question and say like, well, as a buyer, like I think you need to be able But like, I think you also need to be real with yourself and be like, are we willing and ready to put in an offer if we find something that we like?
Right.
That's when you go out and start looking at the house.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still on that, like, I don't know if we're ready. I don't know if we have. Yeah, I just got approved, but like, do I have $20,000 to like put down on this house? We don't really have $20,000 in an account right now, you know? So like, that's great that you got approved, but you also got to look at your financial situation too and be like, do we actually have the money? Like, are we ready and willing to pull that trigger? And I think we got to have that conversation.
So on a encouraging, lighthearted note, we'll just do this. This is fun. I just thought of this. What is your favorite thing about home ownership? Like, home ownership used to be the goal. Like, if you think about what our country was founded on, it was like owning your own piece of land.
Yeah.
What is your, not just like, I know equity was huge. That could be your answer too, but just like your favorite thing about home ownership.
Man, I mean, you asked me this question years ago and it probably changed, but like, I think my favorite thing is community, right? Like I'm in a place now, like in our neighborhood where it's like, I love the community that we're in. Yeah. Like, we know our neighbors, everybody's friendly. Our kids are out in the circle playing. Our kids can leave the house and like go out and play at the neighbor's house or go to the other circle, or like they get on their bikes and they ride to like some of their friends' house, like in the neighborhood. Like, to me, that's like, it's different because I like see the smile on my kids' faces and I'm like, this is why we own a home. Yeah. Like, to let them experience and have this, like, these memories growing up that will last forever, you know, of them growing up in there. Now, like, years ago, like when it's just me and Vanessa, you know, it's like, I think it's just owning something that you've like worked hard towards. Like, it's not easy to buy a house. Yeah. You know, so like when you do it, it's like, it's a stressful time, you know, because you're dealing with a lot of money, but like, it's also an accomplishment of like hard work paying off. And so I think like when you step foot into that house, you're like, man, I earned this. Like, we worked hard for this. Like, we didn't have somebody just gift us this house. Like, we had to scrape every penny that we had and save up. And like, now this is ours to like build a family. And
that would be exciting.
You know, so like, I think that for me is maybe the answer to that question of, you know, and it changes over the years, but, I think it's just having something that like you own and that you work towards and have something to be proud of. Yeah. Of like, you know, growing up, it's like, it's funny because you like think about a kid in your first job and like all these different things. Like, I started a mowing business when I was in high school, like with one of my high school best friends. And like, you know, then it was like, we're making money, and we're like, the proud moment of like that business was like taking a step back and looking at the lawns that we just mowed, and we're like, look at our work, man. Yeah. Like, but we made $30 like mowing that yard, you know? And but then we'd take that money and we'd like, you know, we spent it on stupid stuff like clothes or shoes or different things. But it was like, there was some confidence and some pride in going into those stores, though, being like, Mom and Dad didn't give me this money. Like, I worked hard for this money, and now I'm going to buy what I want. Yeah. And I'm going to buy like a PlayStation, and I'm going to buy like some of these things that like you had wanted, but you knew like your parents weren't ever going to buy for you, you know? Yeah. And that
is special.
I think now it's like, that's completely different. You know, it's like a house is a little bit more than clothes and shoes and different things like that. But like, it is something that you pull up to every night when you're getting home from work, and you're like, this is why I do what I do. Like, to be able to provide this for my family, and to be able to come home to this and then get to enjoy, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, it's to walk through that door and get a hug from my kids and be like, hey, Dad's home now. Like, it's time to make dinner and hang out and like have a conversation about the day, like make memories, you know? Yeah. So Yeah, that was a good question. I like it.
That's so sweet.
But
I love it. Love the answer.
you guys, I hope that answered your question of like when is the right time to buy. Because I feel like it's one that we get a lot of times, and I think it gets answered on so many different levels and so many different ways. But hopefully that's helped prepare you if you're a buyer out there and you're thinking about that question, thinking about these things. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is some real talk.
Thank you.
With your host, Ryan Potter, and his amazing assistant,
Brittany.
Headley.
Am I like co-host?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably say co-host.
I don't know if I should say co-host.
I mean,
I kind of like guest, like special guest.
Yeah.
Every week.
I know. That's true.
We should get another guest on the podcast.
Yeah, we can do that. We will. We've had other guests. We've had appraisers, and we've had other people and lenders, and we'll just continue to add
ask that one
to the list.
But leave comments below on what you want to hear more about.
Yeah.
Any questions you have, leave them, and Ryan can get back to you.
Hey, and don't forget to go to our YouTube channel. And if you like this stuff, hit and subscribe. Give us the like button. We did just hit 50, so we're going to be going live here on YouTube, which will then, I think, open this up to a lot more interaction with you guys. So hopefully the next episode next week, I think we'll be live, and we'll be able to address questions as we're live. But we'll still continue to post to like Facebook and tidbits to Instagram and different things like that, just so you can stay on top of the trends and the things that we're talking about. But if you guys have topics that you want us to discuss or that interest you, let us know in the comments or shoot us a DM in any of our platforms, and we'll definitely address those things and talk about them for you. So with that, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
See ya.